If you're looking for guest post opportunities and you don't have money to afford expensive SEO tools, in this video I will show you how you can use Google Sheets and ScaleSERP to find interesting guest post opportunities in less than 2 minutes. Let's go. So here I have a list of I would say searches, Google searches that work to find guest posts. So we have around 19. So what we're going to have to do first is to build a URL. So what I want to be done is that you should be able to enter your keyword here. So let's say NFC, and then the URL that matches this search should be automatically built in those columns. So to do this, we're going to use several formulas. First, let's go ahead and take a look at, for example, this URL and what it looks like. Okay, so what we're really interested in is this part of the URL. The rest is just not as useful. Okay, so we have the URL here, and the goal is going to be to use this construction and then to do it for all the URLs. So let's go ahead and do it. The first thing we're going to do is that I'm just going to do this, so just to have the interesting part without the keyword, because the keyword is going to be dynamically generated. So now what I have to do, if you look at this URL, well, maybe I'm going to put it here because, okay, it's better this way. I'm going to put this here. Nope, here. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so as you can see here, you have every time you have a space, well, it's a plus. So I'm going to use the substitute function to add pluses whenever there are spaces. So let's go ahead. So you're going to go ahead and use the substitute function. So we're going to use this cell. Then we're going to find the spaces. And then we are going to replace them by this. Oops, this. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's perfect. We now have replaced all the spaces by pluses, and here since there's no spaces, there's nothing, so it is perfect. So now we can go ahead and start to write the URL. So here basically what I'm going to do is use the concatenate function, and I'm going to just copy this model. So first we're going to go ahead with this, then we're going to need to go get the keyword over there, and we're going to make sure that this is a fixed cell. So oops, let's add the dollar signs. Perfect. Then what else do we have? We have a sequence of weird symbols, so let's just copy and paste them. Okay, then we can use this. And then finally you have the encode symbol for the double quote, so %22, and then we are done. And let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so as you can see, we now have what we're interested in. Okay, so now that we have this URL, I'm just going to go ahead and modify those real quick, because as you can see here, it's not the right, it's not the same model as the other one. So I'm just going to do it off screen to save time, and then we can go back to building our little scraper. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to get 10 results for each for each search result. So let's go ahead and do that. And then to be able to get the Google search result, we're going to use a tool called ScaleSERP. So it's free. You have 125 searches for free, and then you have to pay. So it's very affordable. And for purposes, the free version is more than enough. So here what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and copy the API key, which is here. So I'm going to do this off screen to keep it hidden. So what you can do if you don't already have an account is just to create an account, and then you get your API key. Then we're going to go back to our sheet, and you're going to copy paste the API key here. Okay. So now that we have our API key, we can go ahead and scrape the results. So as you can see here, you can use the API with an URL, and this is great because we're going to be able to use it with a function called ImportJSON. So this is a Google Apps script that will allow you to be able to read JSON files into Google Spreadsheet. So it's completely free. All you have to do is go ahead and copy the whole thing. Make sure that you really copy the entire code. If not, it won't work. And then you can go ahead and copy it. Go back to your spreadsheet. Check the app script. And you're going to create the function. You're just going to copy paste that. And then call it ImportJSON. Then you're going to have to save. Oops, it's saving right now. Okay, and you're going to have to save, and then you will have to just give access to the project. Now just go back to your sheet, and what we're going to do is that we're going to have to just go ahead and create the function to be able to read the ScaleSERP API. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so what we want to get is the organic result title, the link, the domain, and the snippet, and that's all. So to see how to get this, we have to go back to ScaleSERP because we have to see how those fields are called in the JSON response. So let's go ahead and check it out. So as you can see here, so we have the organic result field, and then nested into this field we have title, link, domain, and snippet. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're just going to then go back to the spreadsheet, and then we're going to add it into the query with the import JSON function. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so if you click on the function, you can see an explanation how you should use it. So as you can see here, all we have to do is just add it as the second argument of the formula. So you just have to go here to this, no, wait, to this, and then I'm just going to copy paste it to save time. So here what we did is that well, we asked for the organic result, so we're going into the organic result field, and then we're getting the title, and then we're getting the link, the domain, and the snippet. One last thing I'm going to add is that I'm going to add the no header option because we don't need to see the headers. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to get the information. Okay, so now that we have everything we need, the last thing is just I'm going to modify slightly this function because here, as you can see, the API key and the URL are not dynamic. So what I would like to do is for it to be dynamic, so that since it's a template, I want people to be able to add their own ScaleSERP API key and their own keyword. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the URL a little bit. So instead of having this, I'm going to go ahead and remove this. Then I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to add the concatenate function so that you can just build on your URL. So this is the first argument. Then this is going to be something else. Just okay. So here the URL is going to be over there. Okay, well, I can try again. Okay, so here the URL is going to be. Then we're going to pick G1, the URL, and then for the API key, we're going to go back to the main sheet and we're going to enter this. Okay, so this is going to ensure that we have dynamic URL that changes depending on see. Okay, so now it works. Okay, so now we have everything we need. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same for the other search keys. I'm not going to use everything in the end. I think maybe because since I'm returning 10 results, that would mean that it would be 190 results, and I think this is overkill. So I'm going to select the best ones, the most accurate one. It tends to be the one that has the guest post or right for us in URL. So I'm going to select a few ones, and I'm going to make the spreadsheet based on that. So I'm going to do this off screen because it's exactly the same process as what I've done here. Okay, so here are the final results. So as I said, I'm just using the one with the in URL key first to get the best and most accurate result first, and then I just did the same for each search key. So now what we have left to do is to just go back to the results, and we have to add our all the results that we have here in there. So what I'm going to do is use the SORTN function. Why? Because if I use the unique function, I can only remove duplicates across all rows. So for example here, I let's take back your example of scriptural. As you can see, this is almost a duplicate, but the thing is that the snippet is not the same over there and over here. So then with the unique function, I wouldn't get, well, I would get both, because even those rows are similar, this one is not similar. So with the sorted function, what I'm going to be able to do is to say, okay, I want to remove duplicate based on, for example, this column or this column. So I can say, okay, I want one link, or maybe I want one domain, and I don't want to get two results of the same links. So for example, here you have guest plus 2. So I think I'm going to do it by domain, so that I only have, well, one domain, so one website, and I don't have duplicates like this. So let's go ahead and write the function. How it works is that first we have to choose the range we're working with. So for us it's here A2 to E. Okay. Then we have to choose the number of rows we want to get. So for us we have 70 rows. So we're going to just choose 70, and we're always going to get 70 because we're always going to return 10 results per search key, and we have 7, so 70. Then we have to choose the time mode. So the time mode for the SORTN function to remove duplicates is 2. And then we have to choose the column to evaluate, well, to find and delete duplicates. So for us, we're going to do it with the column D, with the domain. Okay, and yes, don't forget to add this. So this is to this is the order of well, of how you're going to sort into your results. So if you choose true, it's ascending, and false, it's descending. So here we're almost done. One thing, yes, I have to start with B. Okay, so there we go. We have all of our results. And if we change the keywords, then let's say I'm not interested in NFT anymore. I'm interested in, I don't know, pets. We should get new results. So as you can see, there we go. We have new results. So thank you for watching this video. This spreadsheet will be available for download in the description. And as always, if you found the video helpful in any way, please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.